Welcome to EO Talks, Eastern Oregon's very own talk show, only here on EO Alive.
Hey, Eastern Oregon, thank you for joining us today on this version of EO Talks. And it's a pleasure to have with us today Agatha Trunchbull.
Oh, Brent, don't start there.
Oh,
it's Trunchbowl.
Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Someone else set this interview up for us, and I'm not familiar with you, but nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're here with us because we haven't had that many in-person interviews here in the studio because of COVID, and so thank you for being here.
Well,
yeah,
it's a pleasure.
Thank you. So Agatha, tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
Oh, yes, well, thank you, Brent. And welcome you at home, Eastern Oregon viewers. My name is Agatha Trunchbull. I am head mistress of the Muntrum Hall Primary School for Wayward Children. I joke, of course. They're not really wayward children. I just wish they would go away. Oh, sorry, a little headmistress humor.
You must be very popular.
I'm sure my children love me, or at least are afraid of me.
So you are a part of a play that is happening at the Elgin Opera House, a musical.
Yes.
Called Matilda. Tell us a little bit about what that musical is about.
Well, I must confess, I don't know a lot myself, so I have asked my good friends at the Elgin Opera House. Great man, Terry Hale, wonderful fellow, told me to keep an eye on you, however, Brent. Said you're a real squallywog. Anyhow, they have printed up for me a synopsis of the show, so why don't we read it together, shall we? Let me see. Inspired by the twisted genius of Roald Dahl, this Tony Award-winning musical, oh, well, I do say that does sound prestigious, doesn't it, is a captivating masterpiece that revels in the anarchy of childhood, the power of imagination, and the inspiring story of a girl who dreams of a better life. Well, I must say that's very flattering. I have often thought of myself as being inspiring, but it is nice to hear someone else say it, I think. Aren't they cheeky for calling me a girl? Well, I must confess I do look younger than my age, but girl, really.
I think that you should keep reading. There's a little bit more information there.
Oh, I see. Wait a minute. Hold. Apparently, I was a little mistaken. Well, we all get carried away sometimes, don't we? Even me. According to this, the actual heroine is Matilda Wormwood. Well, she's nothing more than a squib, a shrimp, an unhatched tadpole. Matilda is a little girl with astonishing wit, intelligence, and psychokinetic powers. That clot, that foul carbuncle is none other than a disgusting criminal. The school's headmistress, Miss Trunchbowl, hates children and just loves thinking of new punishments for those who don't abide by her rules. Oh, dear. Flattery will get you everywhere. Tell me, Brent, can you imagine a world with no children? Go on, try it. The peace and quiet. Oh, I'm so sorry, I got carried away. Where was I? Yes, that's right. Matilda has courage and cleverness in equal amounts and could be the school pupil's saving grace. Come now, those of you at home watching on the telly. Do you think that I would allow myself to be defeated by these maggots? Do you? What sort of person do you think I am? A weakling? An idiot? A fool? You?
You sound very loved.
Well.
Do you have some kind of a motto that you use at the school?
Well, you should ask that, yes. It's a simple yet distinct motto that I think sums up not only my feeling, but most adults' feelings for children. And that is simply this: Bambinotum est maggotum. Children are maggots.
It says that you have a interesting way of correction.
Oh, well, we don't use the phrase correction, Brent. That sounds a little too progressive to my ear. I like the good old-fashioned punishment, a bit more of a heft to it, don't you think? Yes, I have created a device that I call Chokey, patent pending, and I shall refrain from going into too much detail, if you don't mind. I will just simply say that once those horrible, miserable little toads go into Chokey, they come out on the other side good little toads.
How did you get started being a headmistress?
Interesting question, Brent. It just so happens that I actually began my career as an Olympic athlete. I was in the Munich Olympics 1972. Well, I was actually fourth alternate, as they call it. I wasn't actually there in Munich. I was at home in England, sitting next to the phone in case anyone should call. I was a member of the team, though. In fact, I am in the team photo. Well, I actually was allowed to take the team photo, I should clarify. But my greatest accomplishment, if I may, was the hammer throwing competition of 1969. Interesting story there, too, if you will. It just so happens that I was the only athlete to compete that day. It just so happens, a bizarre coincidence, that every other athlete on the team came down with a horrid case of food poisoning. We still, to this day, do not know how they got that poisoning and why I was spared. It's a mystery. But I have learned a great lesson through my time in sports and athletics, and that is simply this. You see, Brent, in this world, there are two types of human beings, winners and losers. I am a winner. I play by the rules and I win. But if I play by the rules and I do not win, then something is wrong. And when something is wrong, you have to set it right, even if it screams.
Okay, so how do people get tickets to this play? And I'm presuming that it ends well.
We don't like to presume, Brent, do we?
Yes. No.
Never a good idea. Well, I don't really know how they get
But
tickets.
hopefully there are other characters other than you.
Oh, there is so-and-so, and what's her name, and that little brat, and that horrid little toad. I don't really recall. I can't tell you. Well, we can reference this sheet. I don't know how reliable those Elgin Opera House people are based on their misinformed synopsis earlier. I'm keeping my eye on you, Terry Hale. But let me see what it says here. Here we are. Tickets are on sale online at elginoperahouse.com. That's elginoperahouse.com. They always say it twice on the telly. I like when they do that. Or by calling 541-663-6324.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Trunchbowl.
Miss Trunchbull, thank you very
Thank you, Ms.
much.
Trunchbowl, for being here with us today. I have learned a lot, and I appreciate you taking the time to come be with us here today on this episode.
Well, Brent, the pleasure was all yours. Now get out. Get out!
But the show...
Out, I say! Really, the nerve of that man.